Welcome to the 2024 IPF World Open Classic Powerlifting Championships. Presented by Leico and SPD, we are live from Druskininkai, Lithuania. My name is Joe Whiteley. I'm here today with Amelia Potter, and we have the women's 84 kilo class and the 120 kilo class A group for you here today. Amelia, this should be another exciting session.
Yeah, we have been absolutely treated to some phenomenal lifting this week, and last night's prime time was no different, and I'm sure tonight's will be the same. Some big names coming up, like the reigning champion Amanda Lawrence, I believe, going for her fourth or fifth title tonight.
I think it's fifth.
Yeah, she is a force to be reckoned with, and some really, really good competition. I know that she's going to be fighting for a deadlift medal, and she's pretty excited to do that. We have Bob Matthews coming into the 120s, Tony Cliff. You know,
and we also have the rematch with Etienne Alchar and Yona Vindik. They went toe-to-toe at the World Juniors last year, both up in the seniors, and Yona is pretty close to that bench world record. In fact, he matched it in Estonia at 2:53. Didn't quite break it. He took the European record, but he was half a kilo away from taking the world record. Let's see if he can snag that tonight. And we're already underway. This is Maya Vaha, Malta. 135 on the bar. Did her first international when we were in Malta at this competition last year. Went on to the Euros too. It has really developed the sport in Malta since we held our Classic World Championships there.
That looked like a nice, comfortable opener for her. 3 white lights, a good lift. If you're looking at the nominations and seeing a name missing, Erla from Great Britain unfortunately pulled out last minute due to an injury, but she is here in the crowd supporting everybody and her teammates.
She's been here all week, hasn't she, cheering everyone on. It's a real shame. It's a flare-up of an existing back injury she had, and of course the wise thing to do there is not risk anything at all. Here's Nicole Kupasamy, South Africa. Seen her at the last couple of World Championships. But her squat must have come on. This is 172.5. She managed 157.5 in Malta. Great to see the progress of these athletes as we come to the annual Classic World Championships.
Oh, very comfortable.
Great squat for Coop.
3 white lights, a good lift. She looks very relieved there. Often the first squat being pretty nerve-wracking.
It really is. You go and talk to the athletes just before they come out, and the nerves are running wild. But as soon as you have your first squat on the board, settles the nerves, and you can get on with enjoying the day. Here's Noor Abouassi, Qatar. First World Championship, she was at the Asians. In fact, she's the Asian champion in this class. First time she has come out to the IPF Worlds. 175 on the bar. A little bit of difficulty just coming out of the hole.
Yeah, it's a good lift. I think perhaps trying to sink it quite deep in the opener, as many athletes do, getting that on the board, just knocking herself a tiny bit out of position, but she looks strong.
Here's Leah Schreiner, Germany, for 180. As she's been knocking on the door of 200 for a little while. So let's see how this moves. Maybe she'll take a big jump.
She's a decade of competitive experience under her belt.
Wow.
Is really strong. I want to wait for the lights there. Yeah, 3 white lights, a good lift. I think just from the angle I'm looking at this live, it looked a little bit high, but the referees are in that perfect position.
Absolutely, and we can see the depth a little bit better from the side. Just sits it in.
Yeah, that looks way better.
And here's Alison O'Reilly. The noise level rise as the Irish lifter comes out onto the platform. Squatted 195 at last year's comp, opening with 182.5 today. Slow and steady.
3 white lights, a good lift.
I find that quite hard to read though. She was well in control of the weight. She was fast out of the hole, but there was some work to do to get it back to the top.
Yeah, I do agree. Although some lifters just do lift like that and can push through more difficult squats. And I think Ali's had a lot of competitive experience, and that's going to help her a lot.
Already on the platform, it's Megan Fall, South Africa, for 182.5. Haven't seen her lift before. This is her first World Championships. Oh wow, that was easy.
Three white lights, a good lift. And different countries sometimes take different strategies. Some opening very conservatively, making those bigger jumps. Some like to open close to where they want to end up and, you know, take those smaller jumps.
And it depends how you train as well. Here's Danielle Philibert, Canada, for 192.5. Didn't see her in Malta. Last time we've seen her on the world stage was Sun City in 22. That was a cracking opening squat.
Yeah, that looked super easy. It's a good lift, and to what we were saying, probably opening pretty conservatively and then taking a slightly larger jump, building towards that third squat.
Here's Kristin Thorhalsdottir, Iceland, for 200. We've seen her on the podium at this event many times. Silver medalist in Malta.
Wow, very deep.
Really nice.
Three white lights, a good lift. Yeah, she's super strong and has had some great competitions in the past. Euros wasn't her best. I know she didn't do quite as well as she wanted to, but she seems to be back in the groove with her recent training.
Definitely looks on form with that opener. Now here's Ziana Azariah for 205. She's a fast rising Brit. We've seen some really exciting head-to-head battles with her and Erolov John. Unfortunately, Erolov is out of this competition. We were looking forward to seeing that again.
Yeah.
Went down to body weight in Croatia at the Europeans.
Oh, that's lovely.
Smooth as you like.
Three white lights, a good lift. Yeah, it's always a great battle between them, but even just Ziana on her own, she's such a clean lifter. She's such a pleasure to watch. You look at this form.
And she's got a massive deadlift. Now here we go, it's the Amanda Lawrence show. She has dominated this weight class for so long now. She had her historic battle with Danny Mello in 2019 at Helsingborg, which was decided on body weight. But since then, not really been challenged in this class.
No, she hasn't. I think from what I've been hearing, she's quite excited to have a bit of a fight for a deadlift medal.
227.5 for her opener.
Wow.
And we would have expected that to move well, and move well it did.
Yeah, she's just so strong. And what I imagine she's going to be gunning for is best lifter overall. Currently, Agatha has it with 121.38 leading, and Amanda Lawrence would have to total around 642.5 in order to take that. So I imagine that's what she could be chasing. And
well, she's done 6:47. She did that at Sheffield in March, but that's right up against a really decent performance.
yeah, so maybe that's the area she's pushing for today for that best lifter number.
Maya Vaha, Malta, taken a 7 kilo jump to 142.5. Starting to slow her down a little bit now.
2 to 1, a good lift. Does get a depth call from the center referee, and when your stance is that wide, sometimes it is pretty deceiving, especially from that angle. So let's have a look from the side. And it looks like the jury has overruled that, unfortunately.
We have a 5-man jury on duty here today, and they can reverse any 2 to 1 decision for good or for bad. Only 3 of them need to agree. A majority decision will carry it, whereas with a 3-man jury, they all have to agree. And here's Noor Abouassi, Qatar.
She jumped 7.5 kilos from her opener. It says here her squat PB is 210.
Wow. Qatar, a relatively new nation to the IPF. Still developing the sport there. Yeah, we hesitated because it looked borderline, weren't really sure. I mean, she moved the weight very well.
Yeah, she absolutely did. And I think this is what we see a lot is athletes come out and they sink it for their opener, and then they start to revert back to maybe how they usually squat.
Here's Nicole Kupasamy, taking a 10 kilo jump to 182.5, but her opener moved really well.
Yeah, and it says here this would match her squat PB, so a great place to be on your second.
Yeah, she did 182.5 at her national competition in April.
Wow.
And she's got a lot more today.
And the thing is, doing it on home soil is one thing, but then to match it on your second on the international platform is a whole different kettle of fish.
Well, one thing to note is that although South Africa is a long way away, it's on a very similar time zone to us, so she hasn't crossed many time zones to get here. And neither has this lady. It's Ali O'Reilly, Ireland, taking quite a small jump to 187.5.
Yeah, quite conservative. You said her opener looked a little bit slower than usual, but I imagine she's just getting... Oh, it seems like she perhaps is injured. She's walked off the platform and maybe is deciding to not take her second, it looks like.
Okay, that was a little bit confusing. I hope she's okay. We are going to run down the clock, which gives me a great opportunity to thank our sponsors. Eleiko, who are makers of the best platform equipment in the world, some of which you can see on the screen in front of you. SBD, the strength sports manufacturer relied upon by strength athletes around the world. And of course, our new destination partner, Visit Malta. We went to Malta last year. It was a fantastic place to go, and we do encourage everyone to visit Malta.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay, we have Leah Schreiner now from Germany for 187.5. Nice and easy again.
And 2 to 1, a good lift. Again, a depth call from that center referee. And usually it is the hardest position to tell depth from, but sometimes they do still get overturned. Usually you're safe if the sides are white, but not always.
The jury's split, so no action. And we have Megan Fall next. 190 on the bar. Absolutely smoked her opener.
Again, lovely and deep like her opener.
Three white lights, a good lift. And it's Danny Philibert out next from Canada for 202.5.
Holds the record in Canada at 209.5.
Quite recent too. That was from Easterns in March.
Still seems like she's got plenty in the tank
I
there.
think so. I think that was a well-judged second attempt. Gives her a little bit of room to go up for her third. Now then, we have a record coming up already. It is a Masters 1 record. That is the age category 40 to 49. And it's Kristin Torhalsdottir. Hadn't spotted that she was into the Masters, if I'm honest. 210 on the bar.
Yeah, I believe this is her first year as an M1. But she is well in the fight for podium with Philibert, especially with Erlov dropping out now. There is a space wide open to get to the World Games next year in Chengdu.
And that is a new World Masters 1 record for Kristin Torhalsdottir.
3 white lights.
And she has another attempt left.
Yeah, I'm not sure it's the Masters record she's after today though, but she
No,
will
I
collect
don't
them, I'm
think so.
sure.
We'll take them as they come.
Yeah.
It is not the goal.
Not so bad to pick them up on the way, are they?
Ziana Azaraya, 215 on the bar. I think she's done 220. Yeah, last couple of competitions, we had 2 European Championships relatively close together. She squatted 220 at both of those.
Perhaps looking to end at a similar place here. See how the second moves. That's lovely.
I think it's there.
I absolutely think it's there. I think 5 is the safe choice to make sure she's getting every kilo she can. I mean, she is considerably ahead of those fighting for third, but you know, we've seen some upsets, so Team GB just want to be safe, I'm sure, and collect those kilos in case of anything.
Final squat in the second round, it's Amanda Lawrence. Now I think she's not overstretching herself today. She's doing enough to win. 237.5 on the bar. Her world record is 249.5. Probably not pacing to have a go at that today.
But it seems like she would have it if she wanted it.
That was so strong.
2 to 1, a good lift. Does get a depth call from the center referee, and she looks back at the jury saying, "You shouldn't." Ah, that's pretty
that
deep.
was great
Yeah.
from the side.
And you know what? She's so far ahead. Maybe she will, but obviously with Sheffield on the line, there's that place where she doesn't want to make it harder for herself. But we'll see.
Final squat now for Maya Vaha. She's gone up 2.5. She missed 142.5 on depth. but she's gone up anyway. Much deeper, I think.
There we go, 3 white lights, a good lift. Manages to get those extra 10 kilos for her total as well. And I think that was definitely a limit lift there.
Another lifter who has chosen to go up despite missing is Noor Abouassi, Qatar. Was this on deck as well?
I think it was.
Yeah, it wasn't a strength issue. We had 2 lifters in the row, Vaha and Abouassi, who just cut it a little higher than their opener. It's easy to lose that awareness once you're comfortable with that opener in, but now it's back there and hopefully she can sink it here. The weight is comfortable. That definitely looked better.
And the jury cannot get involved with 3 white lights.
And it seems like I can see Ali O'Reilly here in the stand, so I don't think she's coming out for her third.
She must have hurt herself. That's a real shame.
Yeah, it is. She has got a big bench on her, so perhaps saving some energy for there. And hopefully she can feel a little bit better for deadlift. I hope it's not the end of the competition for her. We can see her there talking to her coach, Natalie Hansen, in the crowd, perhaps talking strategy.
I didn't realise Natalie was her coach, yeah.
She seems in good spirits, so I'm hoping that it is the case.
Maybe she'll come out and do a bench?
Yeah, I thought you were going to say her third. I was like, I can't imagine her running from there now. But
she's got one on the board. She may well come out and just, even if she just does token lifts on bench and deadlift. And we're going to time out right now. The rules say that if the lift is submitted, then we run the clock for it. And it is considered sportsmanlike not to scratch your attempt, but to leave that in, so that the other competitors have time to recover.
Yeah, sportsmanlike in a flight this short. When it's a full flight, sometimes the more sportsmanlike thing can be to cut it out.
Not quite as crucial as with equipped, but still, it's the nice thing to do. And here's Nicole Kupasamy, South Africa, 190 on the bar. This is a huge lift for Nicole.
Yeah, matched her personal best in her second. Is jumping 7.5 kilos now for a big platform PB.
Well, the second did move really well.
Yeah, I would be surprised if this was a limit lift or above. And it wasn't even close, wow. 3 white lights, a good lift. Moved like a second as well.
She's definitely happy. I mean, to do your best work on the world stage and to hit massive PBs on the world stage is no mean feat. Leah Schreiner now, she's a little bit down on her best, but this is still a big squat, 192.5.
Yeah, I think this is her introduction or one of her first comps as an 84. She's weighed in at 78.95, so very light.
That's a good point, actually. I hadn't really twigged that she's usually in the 76s.
And the weight moved well. And it is a good lift, 3 white lights. Yeah, so she's managed to eat into the class, not have to cut, but
it might just take a year or so to grow into the weight class. Make all the use of those body weight gains. Megan Fall now, South Africa, for 195. This is a great debut for her.
Yeah, has been competing at less than a year, which is incredible, and
wow,
she is so strong. Her second was pretty easy from memory.
Oh, just a little bit overshot. But to have squatted 190, and you say she's only been competing about a year, she must have come in from a different sport to be that strong.
Yeah, she is really strong. I dread to think how strong she's going to be in a few years' time with some lifting experience under her belt. And I think if she had a little bit more experience, actually she maybe could have pushed through that squat.
Danielle Philibert now from Canada. I think this is a personal best for her. Oh no, she's done 210. She has done 210.
And the kilos really count here. Her and Thorswald's daughter will be fighting for that podium position. And it is a World Games year.
Just a little bit too much. Sets her back a little bit.
Yeah, there was only 5 kilos separating the two of them, and Philibert was 5 kilos ahead if she got that lift. Now, Thorswald's daughter has jumped 7.5 kilos, so if she gets it, she is going to be matching what Philibert is on prognosis. If she misses it, she leaves herself 7.5 kilos behind.
So this is another Masters 1 world record attempt for Kristin Thorhallsdottir, Iceland. 217.5 on the bar.
It's a weight she's done before, but it matches her personal best, so it is top end. But the weights are moving well for her today.
She does look on great form. Now, I think the bottom part of that squat didn't go quite as she intended, but she was strong enough to get it back to the top nonetheless. That is another world record for Thorhallsdottir.
And that shows incredible strength to be able to knock out a position and still continue to push through in a less than optimal place.
2 squats remain for the ladies, and then we move on to the 120 kilo class. Here's Ziana Azaraya for a small PB on the platform of 222.5.
Yeah, she usually takes that 5 kilo jump, sometimes a 2.5 from second to third, so must be feeling pretty good today.
And also she's finished on 220 the last 2 competitions. Just it really helps to be able to see that bit of progress and not feel like you're stuck. It looked tough, but there was never a doubt.
3 white lights, a good lift, and she keeps position so well. It really works in her favor, and honestly, usually her third attempts don't look that hard, so perhaps wanting to get all she could out of her squats this time round.
Now, I had said that maybe Amanda Lawrence isn't pacing for the world record, but this is only 2 kilos below it. Now, I can't see into the doorway, so... Oh, here she comes. We've seen her do some absolutely huge numbers in training. Did you see the 83s all sat together there?
Yeah, there's a lot of love there.
That is a phenomenal squat for Amanda Lawrence.
Yeah, I think it's a perfect call there, 3 white lights. And I honestly think it was a great number, because I think if she went 3 kilos heavier for that record, I'm not sure it would have been there today.
Or it may have just exhausted her, emptied the tank.
Yeah.
She's got a long way to go yet.
Unnecessarily as well. Like I said, she might be pushing for that best lifter, which would be a 642 total.
Well, she's got 610 on prognosis now.
Yeah, so I imagine that's what she's fighting for. She looking for some competition, trying to knock Agata off.
It was great though to when the camera panned on the crowd there, and there was Jerins Kengamo sat with Russell Orhi and Enna Asane. They're fierce rivals on the platform, but they're just in the audience, powerlifting fans here tonight. Yeah,
what other sport can we say does that?
Yeah, so much camaraderie, such a brilliant community in powerlifting.
Now, the clock is going down for Jonah Vindeek, but we are yet to see him come out. And is this a mistimed warm-up?
Now, we have seen some rookie errors from Jonah in the past. So it's a coaching failure, really, not to deliver your athlete to the platform in time to take his squat.
And honestly, 24 seconds left on the clock to set up, to get on the platform, to get the start command.
I wouldn't run out at this point. I'd let it go.
Because, you know, at that point, you risk hurting yourself by trying to rush, tiring yourself out. And, I mean, I can't imagine it's strategic by any means.
No, I don't think so. This is definitely an error. Saw something similar in Estonia when he loaded 253. He thought it was the world record, but it only matched and didn't break the world record.
Yeah.
He's such a promising young lifter. It would be great to see him getting these lifts on the board.
Yeah, and it's obviously a responsibility of the lifter somewhat, but the team have to be aware of that as well.
At this level, the coaches should be able to deliver their lifter to the platform on time. But we are well into the class now, and here's Nicolas Perrault, France, for 305. He just missed out on the podium last year. Indy Singh snuck past for the bronze. Oh, that looks strong.
3 white lights, a good lift, and yeah, he's becoming a bit more comfortable as a 120 now. Obviously, moving up from a 105 a couple of years ago, taking some time to fill it out properly. He weighed in at 118.8 today, so getting towards that full end of it.
Only a year or so out of the juniors too. And speaking of Indy Singh, here he is, Indiraj Singh Dillon, Great Britain, 320 on the bar. Of course, he's the deadlift world record holder.
Yeah, holds that at 395.5.
Just had a quick look to see what he got his opener in for then. He's currently got his opener in for 355. He saw his teammates deadlift 400 last night. So I wonder if we're going to see a 400.5 attempt.
Maybe he feels inspired.
But this is 320 for Indy Singh. Nice.
Yeah, and knowing how Indy squats, that was a pretty comfortable opener for him. 3 white lights, a good lift, and it does seem like Great Britain are really producing some big deadlifters of recent.
We have got a real crop of big deadlifters, as you say, on the men's side and the women's side. Here's Etienne Elchar, Lebanon, 325. I think he's still the junior world champion. Had a great battle with Jonah Vindeek at the juniors. I think it was decided on body weight or maybe half a kilo.
Yeah, it was tight the whole way. And actually, Etienne came in and looked really strong then. It doesn't seem like he's slowed down too much since. Now playing with the big boys in the open.
Always a difficult transition. You're the biggest fish in the pond in the juniors, and then you move up to the oceans of the seniors. Really nice.
Yeah, that was easy. He does get a yellow, perhaps for skipping the command. Oh no, it seemed like he made a step, the center referee is referencing. So let's keep an eye on his feet.
I didn't see it.
So I think
maybe we misinterpreted what the issue was.
Yeah, she did tap her leg, but could have been something else.
Now here's Bob Matthews making his debut on the IPF's world stage. He's been making a lot of noise about this debut, and we can't wait to see it. 327.5 on the bar.
Yeah, from what we've seen, he's a pretty special talent, so I hope it transfers onto the platform here. Well, it was definitely deep.
And when you look at his what he's weighed in at today, Amelia, 105.09. He is barely into the weight class.
I was talking to his coach Marcellus just before this, and he told me what he weighed in at. He normally trains about 108, lost some weight while he was here, but that is just crazy.
Cheeky.
It is, it's a bit naughty, yeah.
Here is Victor Vázquez Carrillo, Spain. He's opening with 330 kilos. Silver medalist in Croatia at the Europeans. Behind Tony Cliff, who has yet to emerge.
It moved very quickly. So quickly he seemed to lose control of the bar a little bit.
I was a little bit concerned about the depth, so let's take a look at the side replay.
He does get whites from the side, but red from the center, so usually that means it's okay, but that's definitely borderline, and it's been overruled.
To be honest, I agree. I didn't think it was deep on the first sight. And here is the defending world champion, it's Tony Cliff. Opening with 330. And making short work of that.
3 white lights here, good lift. The spotter's starting to look a lot smaller than they did helping the 47.
Tony's a big guy. So we'll see what kind of shape he's in on his second. Not giving too much away with his opener there. Mohamed Sahad now. He was the world champion in 2022.
He's been competing 17 years.
Wow.
That is experience if I've ever seen it.
Break some hearts when he moves into the Masters in a few years. Well, of course, Tony Cliff moved into the M1 category this year. 360 kilos for an opener. Done as much as 375 in the past.
Seemed to have his eyes shut for the whole squat.
Yeah, not deep enough, unfortunately. But the weight certainly gave him no issue. Handled it very well. Just needs a little bit more depth.
Yeah, it's just a dancing above that line and
just about parallel and no further. So those squats, we still have some of the squats from the B group this morning.
And we are in this A flight without 3 of the openers being successful. So that's a big percentage with Sahad, Vázquez, Carrillo and Weindiek all without an opener. Now, Jonah didn't come out for his opener and it doesn't seem...
And he's not there now.
I'm wondering if perhaps he got injured during warm-ups because...
Usually you'd scratch your second though. So I know it's a small flight, but best wishes to Jona. If he has sustained an injury, that is a real shame. Spoke to him just before the competition started and he seemed excited for it.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't even seen any of Team Germany come out, so the only thing I can imagine, which is a 1% chance, is that he's taking those lifts in the warm-up room and bringing it out for his third. I don't believe that to be the case.
No.
But, you know, I could dream.
Yeah, it would, yeah.
But I do imagine it more likely he hurt himself warming up. And like you said, Joe, wishing all the best to Jonah because it is such a shame, especially for such a strong young talent.
And we were so looking forward to the rematch with Etienne Elchar, but it looks like that will not be forthcoming. So here's Nicolas Perrault, France, for 325. Just taking a quick look. I know it's early to be looking at the projected, I do understand that. But we've got Elchar and Cliff on both projected on 907.5. Now, of course, that shifts around if anyone mislifts or if one takes bigger jumps. But interesting that he's challenging right at the top.
That looked really nice. 20 kilo jump, not slowing Pereira down so much. A good lift. Yeah, and Tony is the heavier of the two as well. So if it comes down to body weight, Elchaye will walk away victorious there. And actually, looking at the nominated totals, it's going to be quite a battle for that bronze place and that position at World Games.
Here's a Victor Vazquez. 330 was turned down for depth. Having another crack at it now. It wasn't far off. She needs to commit.
Yeah, and especially with these heavier weight classes, if the legs get bigger, they really need to make it convincing to see that hip crease for the referees and the jury. I'm still a tiny bit worried about that.
I think he's better than his opener.
There we go. 3 white lights, good lift. That was a good example of me not being able to see past the big legs there.
But it's much easier to see on this side view.
Oh, yeah.
And he just nips in. We have Indy Singh Dillon now, 335 on the bar. He's gone up 15 from his opener.
Yeah, personal best, I believe, is at 347.5.
That was from the British, all the way back last March. Hasn't quite matched that since.
He missed 340 on his third in Croatia, so if he gets this, he'll be in really good form today.
And he's on really good form today.
3 white lights, a good lift. And where would you go from there, Joe?
As you say, he did miss 340 last time out. I think he's 340 though. He's going to want to save some energy for his deadlift.
Yeah, and looking at nominations, especially if Indy doesn't come out for his third squat, Indy could definitely have a chance of pushing for that bronze position.
Bronze medalist last year, he pulled himself onto the podium with his final deadlift. So here's Etienne Elchar, Lebanon for 340. And I'm sure he'll be disappointed to be denied the rematch as well. I think for a lot of competitors, certainly for me, competition is what drives you in training.
Yeah, but with also a position in the World Games, perhaps slightly less upset about it this time.
A fair point. Starting to approach his top end now, I think.
3 white lights, a good lift, and he looks on great form. I heard through the grapevine he was eating up this morning, so in a great position heading into the competition. Of course, often with athletes cutting into weight classes, they then have to maybe skip out on breakfast on day off.
Yeah, I know Tony does have to cut a bit. 342.5 on the bar for his second. He's done 355 in competition, did that at Sheffield in February. Now we know that Tony can grind, but that looks like it's at the limit of strength to me.
2 to 1, let's get a depth pull. We'll have a look at that again on the replay, but yeah, Joe, that was a tough second.
I couldn't really tell from that angle, to be honest. He does have one of those squats where he sits a long way back, and sometimes the body carries on moving through the legs, but the hips don't drop. Now here's Bob Matthews for his second squat, 347.5 on the bar.
Personal best at 360. He's a big squatter. He's actually very well rounded in all 3 lifts. And we saw in his opener, he lifts strong and can lift a standard. So excited to see where he ends up. a bit of a wobble there.
Yeah, I'm not sure we're going to see 360 from him today, but that is a good lift nonetheless. I'm anticipating the referee's lights actually, but there they go.
And the thing is, I don't think that was a strength issue. I think he just had a bit of a positional issue, but I don't think after seeing that, Matt Gary will be comfortable taking that kind of big jump.
And sometimes it is about convincing your coach.
Although coaches in the audience, I think, helping with those jumps as well.
Mohamed Sahad, 2022 world champion. Missed 360 on depth. Going to have another crack at it here. World record in this class is 386, but still with Dennis Cornelius from 2017 in Belarus. Definitely better.
Let's see if it was good enough to get him a squat on the board. There we go, 3 white lights, a good lift.
And I think that guarantees him now the squat gold. Gives him a good springboard into the rest of the competition.
Yeah, it does, because Bob Matthews put in 352.5, a 5 kilo jump, and I think based off of that wobble that he had on the second, even if it wasn't a strength issue, is the sensible thing to do, because if he starts missing, if he misses a couple more lifts, yes, he's far ahead, but we've seen upsets and he wants to make sure he has it locked in.
But look at this, Amelia. Lucas Wiseman is still in pole position on squat.
And it looks
from
like
the B group.
He will stay with a medal, actually. He'll end up with silver on squats.
Yeah, I don't think anyone can do anything about that. We have all their third attempts in. So 375 from Sahad might well go past.
Yeah, and if he misses it.
Yeah, we have a gold medal squat from the B group.
That is huge. You often see some medals occasionally from the B group, but very rarely a gold.
So Jona Vindik did not emerge, so sadly we think he must have injured himself in the squat, in the warm-up. So that is a shame, but it's the wise thing to do to not come out and compromise your health. Probably won't emerge for any of the other lifts. Actually, if he did come out for bench, no, he can't come out for bench because he didn't put an attempt in. This has come up before. Even though if you bombed on squat, you could take a bench-only record, he is now out of the competition because he didn't make a bona fide attempt at any of the squats, so he now cannot come out to bench.
Right.
I hope his coach knew that.
Well, at the very least, you can. Yeah, that is a shame. That I hope that's not an error, and I hope they've just decided perhaps not to. But
if he is injured enough not to come out for his squat, then presumably he wouldn't come out anyway.
Especially when he benches that much.
Nicolas Perrault now from France for 335. Looked great with 325. Can he add another 10?
This will be for a 2 kilo personal best. I imagine taking a squat record home back to France, a French national record. And that looks extremely comfortable for a third attempt. 2 to 1, a good lift. Now we know the jury can turn that over, so let's just make sure that was deep enough. To me, that looks like it was just in.
Can't see much movement from the jury. I saw the jury member lean forward and look like he'd pressed the button, but he was having a bit of a joke with us.
Having a bit of a tease.
Indy Singh Dillon, hopefully coming out for 340, but maybe he isn't. Okay, we thought he might have 340 in him today. 335 looked like he had some clearance.
Especially with Jona Vindik now not coming out, and he knows his deadlift is his big advantage, perhaps saving that energy rather than risking it for 5 extra kilos when he could easily make a 5 kilo gap and more up in his deadlift.
So yeah, saving his back for the deadlift.
And that would leave us with 5 third attempts remaining.
And here's the first of them. It's Victor Vazquez, Spain, for 342.5.
Missed his opener on depth. He managed to get that on his second. And hopefully he can maintain that level of depth for this 12.5 kilo jump. Before a 2.5 kilo personal best for Victor.
These squats are fairly tightly packed. This will move him up in the squat from 11th to 4th. Well judged third attempt, looked to be right on the limit of strength.
And 3 white lights, a good lift. Maybe didn't start squats how he wanted, but seems like he finished squats where he wanted. That's what counts.
Next lifter out is Etienne Elchar, Lebanon. 345 on the bar. Hopefully we have someone come out for their squat. Yeah, I can see him in the wings there.
It's good to remember as well, this flight moves quickly, and these are big boys lifting big weights.
It's a good point, to be honest. We're used to thinking about relative weights relative to the weight class, but the absolute load rises as we go through the weight classes. And that's why the body weight multipliers don't scale through. You're much more likely to get a high body weight multiplier as a lightweight lifter than a heavyweight lifter. Wow!
What an absolutely perfect third attempt from Etienne there.
Showed some grit and determination to push through. There was a moment there where I thought, no, he's not going to make it. About there.
And now, you know, like you mentioned, has a shot at that silver medal. He's going to be really pushing Tony.
And here comes Tony. Tony's going to need this. He's only gone up 2.5, and he's not coming out by the look of it. He's not in the wings there, is he?
I think similarly to Indy, that second one was hard. Tony's was really hard. And
it was.
He's been competing for 14 years. He knows the game, and he knows that if he wants a shot at getting that silver back, staying on the podium, that he's going to need the kilos where he can grab them.
And failing a squat or grinding a squat out at this weight will absolutely empty the tank. But he's a great all-rounder. He's got a massive bench. He's got a big deadlift.
Yeah, he does. And it's just not worth it to push for that. And, you know, if his bench looks good, he could be well within potentially pushing for that or near that world record as well.
Well, he had a crack at it at Sheffield earlier in the year. It wasn't quite there on the day. So maybe he's saving himself for an attempt today. We thought we might see Jona Vindeek and Tony go head-to-head for that record. Unfortunately, not today.
We have 2 lifts remaining before heading through to a short break before bench press.
As Bob Matthews, we said we didn't think we'd see 360 from him today. This is 352.5. It's still a phenomenal squat.
Yeah, this is absolutely massive. Just for reference quickly, the world open record is 386. But this is a mean squat from Bob. He's done this weight before, and let's hope he can remove that little bump he had from his second for his third.
Just about. Wow.
Yeah, that was a perfect attempt for 3 white lights, a good lift.
Great call. That was exactly what he had available today. Not always possible to do your absolute best work on the platform. You have travel and other external factors. And this, as you say, this is moving quickly. This is a fast round.
It is fast, and that's a lot of weight in between attempts.
So here is Mohammed Sahad. $375 on the bar. Squatted 375 in Malta.
Be in the Masters in just 3 years, and that record is 378.5, so I think he'll collect that quite quickly. Currently in a squat silver. If he gets it, he'll get gold, and if he doesn't, Wiseman from the B group will get gold in squats.
He always is so shaky on the walkout, like there's no chance of it happening, and as soon as he gets to depth, oh, it was no lift.
Now the coach runs to the jury. Let's have a look at that on the replay. The crowd are booing, they're not happy with that. It's very borderline. Let's have a look.
It is close. Don't have line of sight on the jury right now. We're about to take a short break, but as far as we know, it's Wiseman for the squat gold ahead of Sahad. Bob Matthews takes the bronze.
Yeah, it seems like the jury are not overturning it, so the order will stand as Joe just said.
And we're going to take a short break now. Join us back here for bench. Welcome back to the 2024 IPF World Open Classic Powerlifting Championships. We have the 84 kilo women and the 120 kilo A group men in this session. Now, we had a little bit of confusion. We had Jona Vindiek didn't come out and take his squats. I think you caught up with his coach, Amelia.
Yeah, unfortunately, he on his 310, I believe, warm-up, he hurt his back, and so he tried 270 again twice, and they just decided to try and push through that is more detrimental, and it just wasn't worth it. So unfortunately, he just didn't come out for a squat, and unfortunately can't post that total, but wishing him better.
Yeah, and unfortunately, because he didn't come out to make a bona fide attempt on squat, he cannot progress to bench. If he'd come out and squatted 75, he would have been allowed to bench. But unfortunately, the rules say that if you do not make a bona fide attempt on squat, you're out.
That is unfortunate, and I hope that wasn't a coaching error. But if it was his last warm-up, perhaps they did run out of time to change it.
Maybe so. Yeah, maybe so. So hopefully he understood that he wouldn't be permitted to bench after that, because otherwise that's 2 disappointments in a row. We are underway with the 84 kilo women, and we have Maya Vaha, Malta, opening with 80 kilos.
Three white lights, a good lift. And just a little bit of information about Ali O'Reilly, who didn't come out for her second or third. The bar rolled, I just caught up with her and her coach. Her bar rolled on her opener and her lower back took into action, and she thought it was spasms, but she's not quite sure now. But whichever it wasn't a good thing to push through, so she decided not to.
But she's going to come out and bench?
I believe so, yeah.
Fantastic. Noor Abouassi, Qatar, 485. She was very impressive on squat. So fast at the top, it nearly went out of her hands.
Yeah, it was. She had a little bit of a wobble at the top, but managed to stop it from going down. It looked like she was about to throw it back into the rack instantly, but I'm glad she didn't.
On bench press, you can't do anything until the centre referee tells you to. Nicole Kupasamy now from South Africa, looking for 92.5 to open her bench.
Yeah, this is about 10 kilos below her personal best, but if we're going based off of her squats, she's made a lot of progress recently.
Easy.
Yeah, that was very comfortable. Good lift.
Next out, it's Britain's Ziana Azariah. 97.5 on the bar.
Opening 10.5 kilos below her personal best.
On projections anyway, she's a fair way clear of Philibert, who's in 3rd place, projected to be in 3rd place. And that was super easy.
Yeah, I would be surprised if her overall medal was challenged. Obviously, I won't count anything out, but I would be extremely surprised.
Yeah, same, to be honest. Amanda Lawrence is, as we expect, well out in front, but Ziana seems to have quite a solid gap between her and the other two. And this is one of the other two. It's Kristin Torhalsdottir, who's in quite a tight fight with Danny Philibert. 105 for her opener.
Thor's daughter ahead on squat, slightly behind on bench, and they have a very similar deadlift, so it'll be really close fighting for that podium position. And that looked very comfortable for Kristin. 2-1, a good lift. Does get a call for elbow depth from the side referee. It is harder to see elbow depth from that angle, so let's see from the front here.
Looks okay to me. My opinion doesn't really count for much. But I can't see any movement from the jury either. So Megan Fall is on the bench now for 105.
Wow, and just to remind you, she's been competing less than a year, and that was 6.5 kilos below her personal best, and what I imagine to be a South African national record.
I wouldn't be surprised to find that she was a thrower or possibly a rugby player. She seems to be way too strong to have just come into the sport from nowhere. We do get sprinters, throwers of all kinds, and quite a few rugby players come into powerlifting. This is Leah Schreiner for 107.5.
Looked very steady, 5 kilos below her personal best and a good lift. And it's interesting, a lot of the time when individuals move up a weight class, the first place you usually see it is on their bench, and the same for when they go down is where it gets hit first.
Now we have the return of Alison O'Reilly. It's the sensible thing to do though, as you say. She tweaked her back a bit on that squat.
Yeah, and she looked a little bit uncomfortable getting onto that bench as well, so I hope she's okay with this. Potentially fighting Amanda Lawrence for that bench gold. Amanda often walking away with gold in squat, bench, deadlift, and overall.
She's not opening the heaviest here today though.
No, she's not. We have Philibert opening at 125, just ahead of her.
Ali O'Reilly has 122.5 in her hands. And that's a huge opener, moving like nothing at all. Oh, but she doesn't look comfortable.
Yeah, she got up from the bench the same way she got onto the bench. And I think as long as she can get down, she can press the weight okay. Strength doesn't seem to be affected. The position probably is.
Now here we have Amanda Lawrence. She is used to being last out for pretty much everything. Not quite last out here on bench today. 122.5 for her opener.
And I think for athletes like Amanda, who have been uncontested for so long, this can bring her back some of that excitement of, oh no, I want my gold medals and I'm going to fight for them. And I think that's important in pushing athletes to continue to get better. So it's not just good for Amanda, but the sport as well. And that was extremely comfortable. 3 white lights, a good lift. Just 12.5 below her personal best, so moving really well, especially as she's not new to the game by any means.
Sinks just a little bit. A lot of athletes have started doing that to just get a little bit more elbow depth, and because what you want to be doing is putting your lift beyond all shadow of a doubt, making it absolutely irrefutable. Now here is a big bencher. It's Danny Philibert, Canada. 125 for her opening lift.
Wow.
She did 136.5 at Canadian Easterns. Might see her approaching something like that here today, because that was phenomenal.
The record, of course, at 147.5, which I believe is Agata's.
They're all Agata's at this point. It's Agata's world, we're just living in it. Back to the top, and it's Maya Vaha. Taken a very small increment, 2.5 kilos. Her opener did move well.
With bench often as well is the one that drops off the fastest. This is her personal best, and opener was definitely strong.
Now she's going to have to watch out for that little sink after she got the press command.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought on her opener, in fact, and I stayed quiet until I saw the lights, and yet again, it is a good lift, but as Joe mentioned there, you're not allowed to sink back into your chest after you get the command. You can use the power from your sink, but it can't go back down and then back up.
Yeah. So here's Noor Abouassi, Qatar, for 90 kilos. Starting to get towards the top now. I wouldn't expect more than 2.5 to go on that for her third. Nicole Kupasamy taking a step up to 100 kilos for her second. Best bench I have for her is 102.5 from her nationals. But it looks like she's blowing past all her PBs today. Or maybe matching. What would you think, Amelia?
I think 5 is justifiable there. If it's anything like her squats, the potential is pretty untapped, I think. 2.5 is definitely a safe option, but I think if she wants to push it, 5 kilos is there.
Here's Ziana Azaraya, GB, for 102.5.
This leaves her just 5 kilos below her personal best. And that was very comfortable.
Go as far as to say easy. Now, I'd definitely be happy putting 5 kilos on that one.
Absolutely.
Just seen that Coop has put 5 kilos on for her third.
I think it could be a little bit difficult, but I think it's there for sure.
Megan Fall now for 110. Very impressive debut here for Megan.
Three white lights, a good lift.
And next out we have Leah Schreiner, Germany, for 110, taking the minimum increment.
We moved very similarly to her opener, actually, and that leaves her 2.5 below her personal best. And as you mentioned before, when a lifter goes up a weight class, usually where you see the effects most quickly is on the bench progress.
But you probably don't quite know where you are.
Yeah.
Because it's a work in progress, it's a target in motion. Kristin Torhallsdottir, Iceland now for 112.5.
7.5 kilo jump didn't really slow her down, so she seems to be on really good form today, looking to keep that bronze medal away from Philibert.
And got a little bit of headroom to move up for her third as well. Alison O'Reilly now, she is suffering with her back, but she's still managing to move a lot of weight with her arms.
And even with her opener, she's given herself at least deadlift bronze. I think she ended up with, bench bronze. I think she ended up with bench silver last year in Malta.
Yeah, very nice indeed.
That's a good lift. You can tell she's still quite uncomfortable though, getting on and off of that bench.
She did indeed get the silver medal in Malta last year. Might just be a little way off the gold here today, but cracking bench nonetheless. Dani Philibert, Canada, 130 on the bar. Now she's taken a 5 kilo jump, whereas Amanda Lawrence has taken the 7.5 kilo jump. So where's the body weight at? Dani Philibert is the lighter lifter.
Yeah, by quite a way actually, about 1.5 kilos.
Game on. So when two lifters select the same weight, the lower lot number goes first. Lot numbers are allocated randomly at weigh-in. But when two lifters lift the same weight, the lighter body weight takes the advantage. Final bench in the second round, it's Amanda Lawrence. She's back where she belongs, last out. 130 on the bar.
Be interesting to see how this moves and see if she remains last out heading into third attempts. She's looking for that best lifter though, she's not going to want to risk it for a medal.
Quite a bit of leg drive there. Hopefully she kept her butt down. And it looks like she did.
Yeah, it seems like she did, but she did get a depth call from the centre referee, which is always a little bit more worrying than get it from the side referee. So let's have a look now.
I think her right arm was very slightly higher than her left. Now the rule says that the bottom of the elbow must be at least parallel with the centre of the shoulder joint. So that's where we are right now with Philibert and Lawrence on 130. Ali O'Reilly right behind on 127.5.
It seems like Amanda Lawrence's second attempt will remain a good lift.
Here's Maya Vaha for her final bench. Another 2.5 kilo increase, 85 on the bar.
Three white knights, a good lift. Ended up in a good place. I know we thought a small jump from her opener to her second, but her opener was good, but I think they made the right choices there. That dropped off quite quickly.
Noor Abouassi, Qatar, 92.5. Clock's ticking down now, but 20 seconds is a long time to get the start command. As long as you don't have to re-rack. Oh, just a bit too much. I think that's the first lift she's missed. Maybe she missed her third squat actually.
She's still on for a good total. And from here on out, all of the next 8 lifters lifting well into the 100s.
And this is Nicole Kupasamy for 105. Big lift for Coop, 2.5 kilo PB. And she had more. We talked about whether 2.5 or 5 is the safer option. I think she could have done another 2.5.
I never had a doubt. When she's watching this back, I hope she knows that I was in full support of the 5 kilo jump. And like you said, with room in the tank.
I think it moved better than a second.
Yeah, it did.
Ziana Azaraya now for 107.5.
Looking to match her personal best on bench. Again, looking to rack up those extra kilos heading into deadlift, where she is a big puller.
Bang on the money with that one, I think.
There's a good lift. Yeah, I think that was a great selection.
Next two lifters have both asked for 112.5. First out, it's Megan Fall.
Megan still not sure where her ceiling is, and we're not sure either.
But it's not here.
Yeah, wow, 3 white lights, a good lift.
Look forward to seeing her progress as we move through the competition and move into future competitions. She's such a new lifter.
Yeah, she's 33, so it's interesting. She must, like you said, have come from a different sport or just be an incredible natural talent.
Last bench here for Leah Schreiner. Same weight, 112.5. Nice third attempt there for Leah.
Yeah, very comfortably matched her personal best.
Makes my wrists hurt just looking at that. No wrist wraps on.
You see it a lot more frequently these days.
Do. And here's Kristin Torhalsdottir, Iceland, for 120. Pretty sure she's benched this before or even more. Yeah, she's got a top bench of 125 she did in Malta last year.
Not looking to lose out on any kilos here.
Well, unfortunately, she is.
Yeah, it was quite a big jump. She jumped 7.5 kilos again. She's lifted more before, but that might hurt her when it comes to deadlift, because Philibert has the biggest bench, and I would be surprised if a 5 kilo jump from Philibert would take that away or change anything.
Here's Ali O'Reilly now for 132.5. This will move her into the lead on bench, if temporarily. Wow, that's a tough one.
A perfect final attempt there, and I think a huge personal best for her. What an amazing final push from Ali there after hurting her back in squats.
And it's great to be able to take the consolation. Was that a PB for Ali?
I think it was a 5 kilo personal best
Wow.
based on what we have here. And temporarily in gold position with 2 lifters to follow.
Well, let's see how long that lasts, because Danny Philibert has looked so strong on bench today. 135 on the bar.
And if she gets this, she is guaranteed bench gold ahead of Amanda Lawrence, as she is lighter. And it looks good.
Well, it's not many people that can say they snatched a gold medal from Amanda Lawrence. But Canada has a new bench queen.
And if Amanda misses this, then she will walk away with bronze position.
Wow.
Although I must say I'd be surprised if she does. Weirder things have happened.
She benched 135 at Sheffield, but that was a 5 kilo PB then, or a 2.5 kilo PB. So her second looks strong. I wouldn't expect her to miss it.
If she gets this, her prognosis is 622.5, which leaves her just 20 kilos away from getting that best lifter.
Wow. And she's back in the top spot. Well, she isn't, no, excuse me. As you say, Philibert takes the gold, Lawrence takes the bench silver, but she collected those crucial kilos.
Yeah, and what that does, like I mentioned before, is gives her a really good opportunity of pushing past Agatha as best lifter, because all she needs to do is make a 20 kilo jump in her deadlifts, which with a deadlift like hers, I'd be surprised if she didn't cover that kind of ground.
So we didn't get a recap there, but it was Lawrence, Philibert for the gold, Lawrence for the silver, and Ali O'Reilly took the bench bronze.
Yeah, all very close to each other. 135, 135, and 132.5 for those positions. And as you mentioned, Jonah Vindy can't come out, so he's scratched out his attempts, making this now for bench and deadlift, which would be more important, a 7-man flight.
Wow. Now, I just did have a message that we were wondering whether it was too late to change his attempt, and it was. He hurt himself, and there just wasn't time to get that change in. So he wasn't able to come out for lighter weight and put in a token lift. Real shame. I hope to see him again on the platform soon, but this is Inderaj Singh Dhillon, 175 on the bar. I know he's been working on his bench.
A little sticky at the top there, but I think it was just a little bit rushed. I think it's a positional thing rather than a strength thing.
Hovering a little bit with his...
Ooh, very close.
Mohamed Sahad on the bench right now, 205 on the bar. He only got one squat in, but that squat was 360 kilos. No dramas there.
3 white lights, a good lift. Yeah, we've already had quite a dramatic start to the 120s, and I think it would be good to take a break from the drama at least until second or third deadlifts.
Nicolas Perrault now from France for 205. He had a good showing on squat.
Has his daughter Amelia here watching in the audience.
Might be just a little bit too young to really understand quite what's going on.
I'm sure a powerlifter in the making nonetheless.
It's a family dynasty for sure.
Wow.
That was a solid bench, really efficient.
3 white lights, a good lift. Has a lot of space to go, moving into his second and third.
And then it will be Victor Vazquez Carrillo, Spain, for 212.5.
Had a bit of a wobbly time starting his squat, so let's hope this is a little smoother for him. A lot of the time with these larger male weight classes, though, elbow depth is very rarely an issue. But I won't speak too soon.
Don't jinx the lifter. I nearly always make some wild claim and then the lifter does something entirely different. But there's no issues with elbow depth there.
Yeah, I mean, I saw his arms walking onto the platform, and I would have been surprised if they were high. But I still worried after saying that, I must say.
Next lifter out is Etienne El Shah, Lebanon, for 217.5.
He's opening on his personal best, it seems. So seeming really strong here.
Yeah, you're right. The best I have for him is the 217.5 he did in Romania at when he won the World Junior title. Graduated to the big boys this year.
And he's not behind in the pack by any means.
But that changes things.
Now, that is interesting, and I hope he can push that and get it for his second, because that might cost him a World Games spot. But if he doesn't get a bench and Jonah didn't get a squat, then people who were nominated in 4th and 5th then can fight for a podium position, and that would be quite a wild ride.
We have Bob Matthews on the platform right now for 227.5. Hit 240 at his national competition in March. Not super fast, but never in any doubt.
3 white lights, a good lift. Yeah, I would be very surprised to see any of Bob's lifts, specifically his opener, be something too troublesome.
Now here's Tony Cliff. He has a massive bench. Opening with 227.5.
Yeah, a big personal best of 250, which is very near the record of 253.
Now he clipped the rack though, which got in the way of his bar speed a little bit, but that looked easy.
Yeah, and if that is going to happen on any of your benches, your opener is the one it should really be the best for.
So keep an eye on the left side here. Yeah, I mean, it's not a fail to clip the rack, but it often throws you off balance, throws your bar path off.
And it seems like there's a 245 bench from the B group, so I would be surprised if that ended up with a medal.
May well do. It was a Masters 1 world record too. Indy Dillon now 180 on the bar. Current best 182.5.
Yeah, it's been really working on his bench, and we are moving through this so quickly now that Jonah is here. It's going to affect them, I'm sure. Actually seemed less wobbly than his opener. Even if it slowed down a little bit, it looked stronger in form.
Guess that on the board. Will it be a PB day for Indy today?
And now he's in a position where maybe if El Chair cannot get a bench in, he could push for that bronze position. They're going to be racking up those kilos, hoping.
Nicolas Perrault now for 215. His opener was super fast. Second wasn't much slower.
Yeah, he looks on really good form today. That is a good lift. It's a hard class to come into coming out of the juniors. It is so highly contested.
Especially in the higher weight classes. It takes a while to put on muscle and put on some good weight in these classes.
Now, as we saw with El Chair's opener, I'm not really sure, Joe, what happened in it. Did he lose position? Was it just a bit too heavy?
It seems too heavy.
Yeah.
But if he made a small technical error at the bottom, then it may have just gone offline.
Bench is the most arguably technically difficult lift or complicated lift, so one small change can do a lot. Oh, and there we go.
And you have to wonder what happened the first time around.
He does get a blue from the center referee, though.
Blue in this case for lockout, I imagine. I can see why he might have a question about his lockout. But
it's a little bit
wobbly
wobbly
to me. You saw that snappy bit at the end. I think his arms are naturally.
Oh, the jury has overruled that,
overruled.
unfortunately. So he's still without a bench. But it didn't look hard this time, so hopefully he can get that on his third.
But he's done it twice now. How much has he got left?
And the flight is moving fast.
And if that was he did look to snap into lockout, so if it's the shape of his arms, there's not a lot he can do to change that. But here's Mohammed Sahad for 2:17.5.
Slow down a little bit. I think he's nearer his top end, but it's still a good lift. It's a good time to utilize maybe the 2.5. No shame taking 2.5 if you get those extra kilos.
You take the kilos that are available to you on the day. This is Victor Vázquez Carrillo, Spain for 2:20. I'm just looking up the scoreboard. We had 2 900 kilo totals in the B group this morning.
I did eye that up earlier, and
very impressive.
If that is just the B group, wow. The sport is growing at a very fast rate. Slow down there towards lockout, but still a good lift. Again, expecting to see some smaller jumps here from second to third, seeing some slightly more difficult seconds, but if you end up where you wanted to end up, then the jumps aren't always important.
Bob Matthews waiting in the wings to come out for his second bench. He's gone up to 2:35. We know he's done more than this in the past, but I'm not sure he's having the stellar day he was hoping for.
Yeah, I believe it's his first time competing on international soil, and it definitely takes getting used to. It definitely takes a toll, and so it might be taking that toll, and the quick flights. Bit of a long press command there.
And that was tough at lockout. I would say he's not going to go up more than 5, maybe not even 5.
He's still in a great position in the lead.
Of course, he's still way out in the lead.
By about 20 kilos as it stands. And that is if El Chair manages to get a bench in.
Here is Tony Cliff, the daddy of British powerlifting. 2:37.5 on the bar. Second generation powerlifter. He has been in the sport since he was 14 years old. And he's got more in the tank.
I've got to say, Joe, that was significantly more comfortable than his opener.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think he'll be taking a stab at that record today, but I think with some other lifters on his tail, it doesn't seem worth it.
I think there's more important things on his mind than the record. So that's where we are right now, with Strazdowska still in the lead on bench ahead of Tony Cliff and Bob Matthews. third round of bench, and it's Indy Singh. He did indeed take the smallest increment, 2.5.
Yeah, he did come out for it. If you remember, he didn't come out for that third squat. So I think he's more certain he has this extra couple kilos.
And also, if he misses a bench, it's not as likely to tax his back, which we know he's planning a big deadlift later.
Wow.
Matched his personal best.
Yep, 3 white lights, a good lift. Just wanted to hold out for those lights to be sure, but it was a great lift. And like we said, if El Chair still doesn't get that in, Indy looks a little bit further behind on prognosis, but do remember he is the world deadlift record holder.
And he's going to jump ahead on deadlift for sure. Now the noise levels just rose, the roof came off in support of this lifter. Etienne El Char has nothing on the board, and he is out for his third bench, 217.5 for the third time of asking. No one wants to see him go out here.
Needs to go those elbows nice and locked. And move the fastest.
And I think I saw him just rotate a tiny bit.
Now he gets a yellow. Did he skip the command? Oh no, it's for elbows again, but a different
well,
color.
elbows are, I think the referee must have given the wrong color. But he did snap into lockout. I don't know what more he can do.
Now I'm keeping my eye on the jury.
2-1, it's a good lift. He's on the board right now. There is still a discussion going on, but we have another lifter on the platform. Mohamed Sahad, 222.5.
And it will remain a good lift. He is back in the competition.
Okay, the crowd went nuts as the jury sat back in their chairs. We've still got Etienne El Char.
I worried for the jury's sake if they did overturn that with how the crowd was.
Yeah, the crowd are not shy about sharing their opinions.
All right, great final bench from Sahad. 3 white lights, a good lift, a personal best, and that puts him in a good position if any kilos are dropped more by El Chair in deadlifts, as he's only now about 10 kilos behind him, looking for that podium position.
And it's going to be difficult for El Char to get his head back in the game after that bit of a worry. He needs to face forward and think about his deadlift now. But in the meantime, we have Victor Vazquez Carrillo for 222.5, taking just a 2.5 kilo jump to his third.
Just a little too heavy today, unfortunately. With that sort of sinking technique, you get a lot of power very quickly off the chest, but you see it slow down so fast towards lockout, and you'll be able to see that here. Sinks it in, lots of power, very quickly stops.
But he left nothing behind. He got 220, he missed 222.5. So he got everything he was capable of on the day. And here's a man who's been looking strong all day. It's Nicolas Perrault, France, for 222.5.
And looking at the scoreboard, the gold in bench will go to the Lithuanian lifter from the B group.
Wow. Yeah, 245 for Strasdauskas.
As a Masters 1, no less. Perfect final attempt there, I think, for Nicolas. 3 white lights.
It's Bob Matthews next, and he has indeed only gone up 2.5.
Absolutely, utilize that small jump, collect the kilos, don't waste energy.
He's a big deadlifter. He will be collecting more kilos in the deadlift.
And Tony's trying to stay nice and close just in case Bob slips up.
Absolutely spot on with the attempt selection for Team USA.
3 white lights, a good lift. And increasing that big lead he has over the competition.
One bench press remains, and it's Tony Cliff, 245 on the bar.
If he gets this, he will, in prognosis, be landing 17.5 kilos below Bob.
But he's opening 15 kilos lighter.
Yes.
Always advantageous if you can pull last. But here's Tony, he's looking to swap his bench bronze for a bench silver.
Oh, and that is just lovely. I was waiting for the classic Tony Cliff arms in the air, and we got it.
Great benching from Tony.
Yeah, he's not the reigning world champion for no reason.
But look at this, Strasdauskas from the B group. M1 world record takes the gold medal ahead of Tony Cliff. Bob Matthews takes the bronze. We're going to take a 10-minute break now. Join us back here for deadlift. Welcome back. The party starts when the bar hits the floor, and the bar has well and truly hit the platform. Here are your subtotals for the 84 kilo class. Amanda Lawrence out in front, no surprises there on 382.5, but it gets a bit closer behind her. Danielle Philibert in second place is 7.5 kilos ahead of both Ziana Azariah and Kristin Tor Holsdottir.
Yeah, it's important to note that Philibert, although looking like a strong contender for the platform, Azaria is opening 37.5 kilos heavier than her. And I think actually Philibert dropped her opener slightly as well.
And of course we had some drama in the bench press part of the competition with Etienne Elchar nearly leaving us. He managed to get a bench in on his third.
Yeah, well, the crowd were definitely riled up about that, and they managed to pull through for them in the end, and is still in the fight for a great position on the podium.
We are underway with the 84 kilo women. This is Maya Vaha, Malta. 150 on the bar.
Current deadlift record belonging to Amanda Lawrence at 268.5.
Nice opening lift for Maya. And next out it's Ali O'Reilly. Now she's dropped this, hasn't she?
Yeah, she's dropped this considerably. Her personal best is 210, but as you know, on her first squat, the bar rolled and hurt her lower back. She came out and did very well on bench, getting bronze with 132 and a big personal best, but I think this is for the best. No need to push yourself, hurt yourself more.
Yeah, she's picked up a medal. And if you try too hard and do yourself even more damage, you'll be out for longer.
Very snappy, and you know, we'd expect it, but she does look slightly uncomfortable.
We'll have to see whether she comes out for any more. Saw her coach doing that shrug expression there.
Like, this is way below your personal best, I don't know where to jump from here.
Megan Fall is out next for 180. I managed to catch up with her in the break, and she's come to us from CrossFit. She was always the strongest at CrossFit, she said, so she decided to branch out into powerlifting.
CrossFit, interesting. I've seen a couple people come through very strong from CrossFit. Jordan Bright from Ireland is someone I think of as well.
Great opening pull there for Megan. Another lifter having a good day, it's Nur Abouassi, Qatar, for 180.
A very talented lifter, only competing for 2 years and already at this strength level is incredible.
A little bit of work to do at lockout though.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried she didn't actually get that down command in time. And she does get a yellow, I believe, for that. Let's have a look at that replay, because she kind of pops back a bit early.
Hard to say from the replay because we don't always hear the ref's command, and we certainly don't hear them on the replay.
Which means it's also hard for the jury to know as well.
Danielle Philibert, Canada now for 200, and as you say, this is where she starts to slide back a little bit.
She's currently projected in third, and as long as she keeps her jumps similar to Thorsdottir, then she could be safe. Their deadlifts are actually very similar. And that looks very comfortable.
But there is going to be a scrap for that. I mean, there's always a fight for the medals. People always want to be on the podium, but it's that much more important this year. All 3 podium places will be invited to compete the 2025 World Games in Chengdu, China.
Yeah, and that only happens once every 4 years.
Nicole Kupasamy having a good day today, opening with 200. She is 6 for 6.
And I'm not
And
surprised
possibly
to see that
7
easily.
for 7.
Are you surprised that moved that well?
I'm not.
No, and her personal best is 215, and again, I won't be surprised if we see a big personal best here in deadlifts as well.
Here is Kristin Torhelsdottir, so this should give us some indication of where she's at, 202.5 on the bar.
And if she's just able to make a slightly bigger jump than Philibert.
Oh, just lost her balance at the top.
Now, Joe, what would you suggest in the situation? Because if she retakes, she's kind of out of the race for that World Games spot, and this is one of the few scenarios where maybe that risk is worth it.
And it was easy. It was an easy pull. Philibert's gone up 12.5. And Torhelsdottir needs these kilos. I would maybe split the difference, maybe go up to 210.
I think she would have to do 215 if she wants to give herself the best shot and not have to pull something crazy Hail Mary-esque on her third. But we'll see what Team Iceland do.
In the meantime, this is Leah Skriner. So she's put 215 in. She's going to try and stay in touch.
Which I think is smart.
This is Skriner for 210. Sitting in 5th right now. She's got work to do to try and catch up with the top 4. As you said, she's not quite filled out her move up from the 76s yet.
Yeah, she's not even broken into 80 kilo body weight yet, weighing in at 78.95. So if she's this strong now, you know, sitting around 5th in the world, a couple more years, a little bit more weight on her, she'll be in a great position.
And we have Ziana Azaraya opening with 237.5.
Ziana has an incredible pull. 258, I believe, is her personal best, and that is just massive. Only 10.5 kilos below the world record.
She's been trading blows for the biggest biggest deadlift in British powerlifting for a while. That's gone back and forth between her and Errol of John.
Perhaps today is the day she takes that back.
Perhaps it is. But this is 237.5. The thing that's going to be on her mind is making sure of that silver medal.
That is just silly. It's just silly how well that moved. Yeah, and the number she'd have to hit for that would be 265, as Erla got 263 in Croatia earlier in the year. But like you said, it's not the priority by any means.
It isn't the priority, and the record, Amelia, 268.5, is it?
Yeah, and that's
Okay.
Amanda Lawrence's.
So she wouldn't be able to chip her way up there.
No, and the thing is, she is in a great position. It's unlikely anybody's going to catch her because
Yeah, I agree.
it would be a weird world to see Ziana miss her second deadlift. She's jumped to 250.
Amanda Lawrence now for 240. That 268.5 is Amanda Lawrence's record. She was a couple of kilos shy of her squat world record.
If she lands on 260, she will walk away best lifter as well. So anything 260 and above, she moves ahead of Agatha in IPFGL points.
Super quick.
3 white lights, a good lift.
Now, she does sometimes take big jumps. Would you expect her to go to 260 straight away?
Looking at the scoreboard, she's got nothing to lose by doing that, but at the same time, it's more worth getting there and making sure you get there by taking smaller jumps, perhaps. But she's got it in the tank, and she has done it.
She has done it. Arguably, you put what you need in, and then if you have anything left, it's that's all fine and good. But you probably don't want to be taking too many attempts north of 250.
Yeah, and she does have a chance at it again. If she misses it, 20 kilos seems like it's there. And when you're lifting that kind of weight, 20 kilos isn't a crazy, insane jump. It's big, but...
Yeah, but proportionally, maybe not as crazy as it looks. So this is Maya Vaha, Malta, for 160. 10 kilos up from her opener.
Three white lights, a good lift.
Alison O'Reilly is coming out again. I wasn't sure if she was going to risk it. But here she comes, 165 on the bar.
Even if she's not hitting near her best, you know, the platform experience is invaluable, and she's come all this way.
And she's collecting team points too. You get 12 points for a win, 9 points for second, and then 8 for third, and down to the top 10. She is in the top 10, so she will be collecting valuable points for Team Ireland.
Yeah, looks good as expected. She seems to be tempoing it a bit off the floor, which I imagine is because she's just being careful with her back.
Here's Nur Abouassi in a cloud of chalk, waiting to come out for 187.5. Can feel the ground shaking as the big boys are warming up out back for deadlifts. That was tough. She was a little bit wobbly around the knees.
It was tough. She does get a blue, and I imagine that would have been for either downwards movement or any sort of assisting. So let's have a look at that, see which she gets it for. Yeah, I think it's assisting.
Yeah, resting on the thighs. I think it's described as supporting in the rule book, sometimes called hitching, which isn't quite right. Here's Megan Fall for 195. This is a big jump. Certainly slowed her down a bit.
Yeah, it slowed it down off of the floor, but still I had a pretty snappy lockout.
Danielle Philibert next. She is sitting in third place. Slid down the rankings just a little bit when deadlift started, and Azariah jumped ahead. 212.5 on the bar.
If she gets this, Thor's daughter has some way to make up. Ah, that looked great. Yeah, Thor's daughter without a deadlift on, they did jump that 12.5 like we said they would need, but that put Philibert at 550, whereas Kristen's would take her to 545, and Kristen is heavier. So she would need 7.5 more.
Here's Nicole Kupasamy, South Africa, for 212.5. This will move her up from 6th to 5th, past her teammate, Full. Decent second attempt there for Coop.
Yeah, and just 2.5 below her personal best. Like we said, wouldn't be surprised to see her break that.
And with nothing on the board, Kristin Torhalsdottir is coming out for 2:15. This will break her own Masters 1 total world record. I'm saying it's her own, I'm just going to check that. Oh, excuse me. It is Ilya Strick's total record in the M1s.
And this would break it by quite some way, by 7.5 kilos.
Not many people take records of Ilya Strick. It looks like Kristin Torhalsdottir is about to be one.
Managed to hold on to it. Really white lightsy, good lift, gets herself on the board and back in reaching distance of that podium, although it's made it a little bit of a harder job.
Dania is looking strong today. I wouldn't, she's got 2:20 in for a third. I wouldn't put that past her.
No, I wouldn't by any means, and I would be surprised to see her knocked off at this point, but I think Thorhusdottir is going to put in to try and pull for that placing because she has nothing to lose by doing that.
Leah Schreiner, Germany for 2:20. She is sitting in 5th place, unlikely to be able to catch the top 4. But she's coming under pressure from Kupasami.
Looks very strong.
It's another one on the board there.
And to come into a new weight class as well and already jump to around 5th position at the world level is incredible.
Ziana Azaraya coming out for 250 kilos.
This is a huge pull.
She's done more than this at her last 2 competitions.
Very interested to see how this moves and where she goes for her third. And that was nice.
It really was, and she's within 3 kilos of her best ever total now.
Now getting so close to her top end, I'm wondering what they'll jump. Maybe a 7.5, 10 kilo.
Well, I think she's running her own race at this point. She's not going to catch Amanda Lawrence. She's not going to be caught by any of the people behind her, so she can pick what she wants, really.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what she does decide to do.
260, maybe?
If she does 260, you end up with a 590 total, which is just huge.
There it goes, 260s going on the bar. Of course, you get 2 changes to your final deadlift, but that's the lift she's posted right now. And here comes Amanda Lawrence for 260.
And this is just 8.5 kilos below her own record. But not only that, if she gets this, she becomes best lifter ahead of Agata Shitko for the time being, and that will be hard for the 84 plus to take off her. She knows.
Having said that, Alexis Jones is lifting tomorrow. Tough lockout, but she's patient.
Yeah, holds it for even longer than she needed to be sure. 3 white lights, and she knows she's just gone ahead of Agata there, and she has by 0.5 of a GL point.
And she's got a lift left.
Yeah, I'll be very interested to see how far she can push that to make the job in the 84 pluses for Britt, Sunita and Alexis to try and fight for.
So those are the deadlift results so far. Amanda Lawrence on 260, Azariah 250 and Schreiner on 220. But more important than that, Lawrence is way out in the lead with 642.5. Azariah on 580. And then there's a bit of a scrap with Philibert and Torhalsdottir, only 5 kilos apart. Final lift for Maya Vaha, 170 kilos.
This has been a tremendous deadlift session so far.
A little bit too much for Maya this time.
And it took until then to get a missed lift on strength or any other sort. Obviously, Thorhusdottir missed her opener just dropping it at lockout, not managing to keep it up until the down command, but wow, lots of greens.
Now look at this, Amelia. Ali O'Reilly's gone up to 185.
She's going for that big 500 kilo total, I think. It's a big jump.
It's a brave thing to do as well, given that she injured herself on squat.
Perhaps now it's been an hour or so, a couple of hours, she's feeling a little bit more warmed up and a little less sore. And I hope that is the case, but this will give her a 500 kilo total to end the day on. And move her into 7th overall for the time being, ahead of Fowl. Bit of a wobble, but it was pretty easy. And 2 to 1, a good lift. Walks around to shake the hands of the referees.
Gives them all a nice chalky handshake to be going on with.
If the jury overturned that, I'm sure she might have not wanted to shake the middle referee's hand. But she seems safe with that.
Final lift coming up for Noor Abouassi, Qatar. 192.5. Just got it to her knees, wouldn't go any further, but she's had a great time at the World Championships.
Showing respect for the referees there, and probably also helping out the next lifter by spreading that time a little bit further.
Of course, we clean the bar between every attempt in the third round of deadlift to give every lifter the best possible chance of holding onto the bar.
Particularly if a sumo lifter follows a conventional lifter, as that is where the conventional lifter's legs were, is where the sumo lifter's hands will be. You don't want to mix up chalk and talc.
Absolutely not. This is Megan Fall, come to us recently from CrossFit apparently, and we're glad to have her. She's been so strong today and finishes her day with 202.5.
3 white lights, a good lift.
And she went 8 for 9 in her first World Championships.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. And I don't think any size flight would really bother her if she came from CrossFit either. She could have a flight of 2 and I'm sure she'd be okay.
Now we have Danielle Philibert from Canada for 217.5. This will put her on 555. Now the 230 that Tohalsdottir's got lined up for her third will give her 560. But I would expect her to drop that a little bit, depending on whether Danny gets this or not.
And it looks good from here.
It does. It was a little bit tougher than I anticipated. Her second moved so well, but fatigue really starts to accumulate at this point in the competition.
And listen, if it's your third deadlift, who cares? You know, you have no more lifts left. You don't need to worry about the next one. If it is the fight of your life, but you get it, that's worth it. Nice to say that you potentially had some more kilos left.
Yes. So what is the GL points that Amanda Lawrence is on right now?
She's on 121.8527 if you want all those decimals.
Yeah, I was just going to take a look at the all-time rankings. I can't figure out how much 5 kilos will add to her GL points in my head. But we have Nicole Kupasamy, South Africa, for 220. And she's had the day of her life on the platform. And finishes it strong.
So another 5 kilos would take Amanda Lawrence to 122.8. So up a whole point.
.8. So that will move her a couple of places up in the all-time rankings. So that only Leah Bavois and Agatha Shitko are ahead. She'll jump Carola Garrett and Jade Jacob.
Of course, that is meaning Agatha in a previous competition, not this one here.
Yeah. So that'll be a PB on formula for Amanda Lawrence if she gets it. So here we go. This is Kristin Torhalsdottir in an attempt to snag the final place on the podium and that crucial invitation to Chengdu. 2:27.5. She did indeed drop to the number she needed to go past.
And this would knock Philibert off. No, and unfortunately it just would not budge. It seems like there wasn't a lot of patience, I want to say, with that.
No, she didn't try for very long. And with sumo, sometimes you have to really give it something to... Yeah, that's surprising. Maybe she got a little bit of a tweak.
Yeah, if you know that quickly, I suppose there's no point of pushing through.
So, Dani Philibert is going to the World Games. We have 3 lifts remaining in the women's deadlift. It's Leah Schreiner, Germany, for 2:27.5. It's a tough lockout, but she's got it to the top. What do the referees make of it? 2-1, a good lift. I wasn't sure about that little shaky bit in the middle of the pull. Yeah, just about there. It was helicoptering. It was laterally shifting.
We've had an attempt change. Let's see where that comes in. Is it
Amanda
Ziana
Lawrence
going for the gold? Oh.
Oh, maybe that. No, it is Ziana.
And she's going, if Amanda Lawrence then misses hers, she would take gold off of Amanda. This is a 12.5 kilo jump to Ziana from her second, which moved well. Let's see if she's got another 12.5 kilos. This would land her in 592.5 and potentially take deadlift gold away from Amanda Lawrence.
It's nearly 5 kilos more than she's done before, but she's looked strong today. This is a massive deadlift by anyone's counting.
6 kilos below the world record. And there it goes. Wow! Can she lock it out?
She's got it. Wow.
3 white lights, 262.5 kilos.
Absolutely incredible for Ziana.
And if I'm being honest, it wasn't even that much of a grind.
No.
As far as grinds we've seen goes. And that means now, if Amanda misses this, Ziana walks away with gold in deadlift. The current open record total is 6:47, and I think that's what she's jumped for.
Yeah, she's on 6:42.5 now. This will chip the open total world record by half a kilo. It's her own record. 265 on the bar for the queen of the 84 kilo class. 4-time world champion, let's say it, 5-time world champion, Amanda Lawrence.
Already etched her name in history. One final pull. She is fighting so hard. Wow. And that means Ziana beats Amanda Lawrence for that deadlift gold, which in deadlift is a hard feat to take that away from Amanda Lawrence.
It really is. That is something that will keep Ziana warm at nights, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And it was a great pull too. So Ziana Azaraya takes the gold medal with 262.5 ahead of Amanda Lawrence. 260 for the silver, and all the way down to 227.5 for the bronze is Leah Schreiner. But in the overall, the total. Okay, we didn't get to see the totals, but it was Amanda Lawrence on 642.5, Azariah 592.5, Philibert on 555.
And speaking of great British deadlifters, we head into the men's 120s.
They gave us drama in the squats. We had drama in the bench. Let's hope for a drama-free deadlift session now. And Mohamed Sahadi is going to lead us out on 325.
And if you could believe it, current world champion Tony Cliff, in prognosis, is in bronze currently.
Wow. But he's a canny competitor, Tony Cliff. He will not give up without a fight.
Oh.
Oh, well, that's more drama. I can see his coach looking at him going, what happened there?
It just looks like it might have been too heavy. Now, we've seen in bench a small technical change, but in deadlift, it's usually just strength, Joe.
Well, he's done this kind of weight before. He squatted 360. He looked in good shape, so that's quite confusing. Let's hope he can come out and get that on his second. Meanwhile, same weight, 325, is Nicolas Perrault, France. Fast as you like.
And very quickly, I've just seen that Etienne has changed his deadlift opener up above Indy Singh for 370 as his opener. Now that's interesting. He had a shaky bench, so I'm hoping this is not a bit too much of a push for him, because
that just seems too much. That gives me worry. I mean, hopefully his coach is knowing better than I do, so hopefully that is going to be just fine. But here's Tony Cliff for 330. We'll wait until everyone's done their first deadlifts, then we'll take a look at the rankings.
Wow. I mean, I didn't expect much else from Tony. 3 by lightsy, good lift. Multiple time world champion.
Now I just looked up, and the best deadlift I have for Etienne is 378.5. That was last August, so he's got a year's worth of progress in there.
370 is a big opener.
That's a big opener.
That's more than Sanchez opened on yesterday.
And it's more than the world record holder in this class, Indy Singh Dhillon, is opening on.
I'm very interested to see how that unfolds.
Here's Victor Vazquez for 332.5 to open his deadlift account. Now it's been pointed out to me that Bob Matthews' body weight was a typo. It's actually 105.9, not 0.09. It's still not very far into class.
Yeah, he is. I would imagine if he wins, which seems like a likelihood, he will not be a 120 at Sheffield.
No, I think he's already said as much. That was a good lift for Vazquez. And here comes Bob Matthews, opening on 345 today.
Has a personal best of 378.5, a big puller.
At Powerlifting America Raw Nationals, he started on 345 and jumped straight to 378.5. So,
wow. And you see he has the energy for it.
But I don't think he's having as great a day as he hoped. I mean, he's in the lead. He's, you know, a fair distance up the road.
Yeah, and I did speak to his coach, and I said, you know, is there a lift that Bob shines more in? And he said he's pretty well-rounded, but I think he did mention that he's particularly a pretty fantastic deadlifter, so perhaps this is where he feels most comfortable.
Speaking of fantastic deadlifters, here comes Inderaj Singh Dhillon.
Seamless.
355 on the bar. He's the world record holder at 391. We are expecting him to, 395.5. He pushed it up again, didn't he?
And maybe he'll push it up again
maybe
today.
Maybe he will today. It was 391 at Malta, first time he broke it. So 355, we're hoping this is going to absolutely fly.
Yeah, he's teased us with 400 a lot. Wow.
A little bit scrappy though.
Typically, Indies deadlifts do look a bit like that, especially when, believe it or not, it's lighter, if that's what you want to call that kind of weight. I have good confidence that he'll make a decent sized jump now, but I am very interested in how Etienne's opener looked, because if it's good, then we'll see potentially 2 people going for that huge world record.
Just keep an eye on the board, see what Indy puts in next. But meanwhile, Etienne El-Char, he had a bit of a nightmare on bench. And he's opening his deadlift on 370 kilos.
Is this a secret weapon he's been keeping under wraps, perhaps?
Haven't seen him compete on the international platform for nearly a year, so may have been hard at work in the lab, developing this deadlift into being an absolute weapon.
Wow.
Well,
that's all we can say.
I don't know what to say about that. Clearly that's been in the works for some time.
It looks really strong. I've got to say, his style makes me think that it's going to be quick until it isn't.
Well, he's got quite a wide stance, which means his hand placing's quite wide. Almost snatch grip, not quite that far out, but going that way. So he's leading wave 370 ahead of Indy Dillon on 355 and Matthew Costa from the B group. But Indy's put 375 in for his second. And we don't know yet what Etienne's going to do from here. And here's Mohamed Saad. Now, he just didn't seem to be able to get 325 moving on his opener. And Etienne's put the world record in, 396. Oh, what is happening?
Now, I was worried when I saw his opener that it was a strength thing. And the thing is, like we said, on deadlift, it can't often be much else, especially if it's conventional. Sumo can be a positional thing, but it just seems like
I'm not sure if his grip failed on that one. I was just looking at his left hand and it seemed like his left hand opened. But it's hard to tell, did he fail it because his left hand opened or was it opening because it was too heavy? It's a difficult one.
Yeah.
350 now for Nicolas Perrault. Big deadlift for him.
Yeah, just 5.5 kilos below his best, I believe.
Did 355.5 at French Nationals last September. Smooth.
Yeah, that looked very comfortable. 3 white lights, a good lift, and I suppose that means on his third he'll be walking away with a French national record.
Could be. We have Tony Cliff in the wings now to move into the lead with 350. Obviously the 2 men ahead of him are still to pull. Well, Tony's got to do his job, get out in front, and then it's everyone else's job to come past you.
That was a really lovely second attempt there.
I'd say he's got at least another 10 in him.
Yeah, 3 white lights, a good lift, and just looking at the board, as Joe said, Etienne has put in 396 for the world record, and not only will that give him the record, right now that would push him ahead of Bob Matthews in total.
And the total world record, is it 968? Can you see on the screen?
978.5 is the total world record.
978.5. So we could be approaching that quite soon. Victor Vasquez now, 352.5. Move himself up to 4th place. A little bit soft as well.
Yeah, I was about to say before he dropped it, I'm not sure that was completely locked out, unfortunately. Has one more shot of that on his third. Hopefully he can pack his hands with some chalk.
He was just soft all over, I think. You really need to have your legs locked and your shoulders back.
Yeah, the trouble is when it starts coming out your hands and you can feel that first, the instinct kind of is to soften up your knees to try and put power into your grip strength.
Now here's Bob Matthews to get back into the lead with 367.5. But if Etienne gets his 396, he will take the lead from Bob Matthews. Now this wasn't in anyone's predictions at all.
No, and it sure will be a shake-up. We've seen upset after upset this championships. But it doesn't make it any less shocking.
But we're not writing off Bob Matthews just yet.
No, definitely not. Let's see how this moves for him.
Oh, it moves really well.
Yeah, almost had a bit of a wobble at the top and managed to hold on really well. 3 white lights, a good lift.
So let's not forget that we're saying that if Etienne gets his next lift, he goes ahead. But he's taking a 26-kilo jump from what was already a massive opener.
Yeah, you took the words exactly out of my mouth. It is a big jump. You see 25, 30-kilo jumps in this weight class, but the thing is, it is so heavy. And like we said, with that stance, it's not always 100% reliable.
Here's Indy Singh looking for 375. Pacing towards a world record attempt, pacing towards possibly 400. Given that his teammate took 400 in the 105 kilo class yesterday, he would like the bragging rights of biggest deadlift in British powerlifting back. But first, 375. And it's tough. Wow.
Yeah, hit the brakes a little bit there. Indy is very good at grinding through deadlifts, but
He is, but I would say the record's not there for him today. Sad as it is to see it.
yeah, it's really hard to say. But when you see a lifter start vibrating like that as they're pulling, it's not always, or it's never really a good
That
sign.
looked like a max lift to me. And I'm sad to say it. I was hoping he'd go for a big lift on his third, and I think he still will go for it. But here we are. It's Etienne El Char, Lebanon.
Now,
Open with 370. This is 396 to take Indy Singh's deadlift world record, and also gets himself into the lead. We did not expect to see him going past Bob Matthews, and we haven't seen it yet. But it's on the bar.
yeah, and this would have to move very well to get ahead of Bob if Bob gets his third pull. And that Gary watching in the wings. World Open deadlift record, 396 kilos, huge amount of weight.
It's going. I think he's got it.
His knee is shaking like crazy, but wow, look at that strength. Yeah.
No.
And I think the issue there was, if you look at the replay at that right knee, just
was
vibrating.
He was quite slumped as well at the top.
Yeah, and it
the
started to slip,
bar
I
was
think.
slipping. Yeah, I'm not sure what the exact infraction was there. But this is where it leaves us with Indy Singh on 375, Etienne El Char on 370, Bob Matthews 367.5. But more importantly, Bob Matthews is still in the lead, 20 kilos clear of Tony Cliff, who's 5 kilos ahead of Etienne.
And the thing is, it's a flight of 7. 396 is an incredible amount of weight. Will he be able to get it back together there for his third is the question.
And will Mohamed Sahad manage to get 325 on the third time of asking? He's done these kind of weights before.
Yeah, and it's looked like a strength issue, but it moved further than it did on his second than it did on his first.
This will get him into 5th place. No, his grip going, his left hand was just letting go.
And that is such a shame. Unfortunately, can't post a total, which means 2 out of the 8 lifters in this prime time session have not managed to post a total.
Well, it was nearly 3
It
with
was.
Etienne El-Char's bench.
It was nearly 3. Which is such a shame, but it shows how much they're pushing themselves to try and get to those top spots.
Now, just looking down the final attempts, Indy has put in 385. He's not going for a wild punt this time. It's not always there. You know, you have to do what's available on the day. You can't line up the World Championships for when you're on fire, when you're having a stellar day. Victor Vazquez now for his 2nd attempt at 352.5.
Just lost grip at the top there. No, unfortunately lost grip at the bottom of that one.
Looks accusingly at his offending hand. This is a universal gesture that all powerlifters do. How dare you betray me?
Did very well to stay on his feet there, actually. Getting thrown back by the bar.
Out here's Tony Cliff, 372.5 on the bar. This is 7.5 more than he's ever done before, and this will get him the deadlift and total record in the Masters 1 category.
And if Tony gets this, I'll imagine Bob Matthews may drop to the total he needs, which means just a 370 pull, I believe.
These records have stood since 2016. But Tony's coming for them now. To move into the lead. So not quite there for Tony today. He's still in 2nd place right now. He went to the World Games in 2022 in Birmingham, brought back a medal from there. So he'll be looking to go back and have a go at the World Games Raw this time.
Well, the fight is not over. Etienne El-Shair is obviously going to reattempt that 396. So Tony's current silver is not yet safe, and nor is Bob Matthews' gold. But I imagine to see a drop in weight for Bob Matthews' third deadlift.
Well, maybe he'll just try to, I don't know, I would expect him to try and pull last. But they're taking a judgment on whether they think El-Char can actually do that on the 2nd time of asking. Did that just drop? He's got 380 in now. Yeah. So we just have some changes filtering through the scoreboard. It's Nicolas Perrault from France for 375. Took a 25 kilo jump to a 2nd. He's taken another 25 kilo jump to try to knock Etienne El-Char off the podium.
It is a big ask, but his deadlifts are looking really strong today, and there his daughter is and his sister supporting him.
It's a family affair.
This would be a huge attempt, getting him onto the podium for the time being.
It's a big ask though. Wow, he doesn't give up without a fight. But unfortunately, it was just a bit too much.
What a valiant effort. Goes straight into the crowd to see his daughter and takes him back with her, takes her back with him.
That's really cute. Didn't quite get a shot of his him with his daughter on the platform there. So it's Bob Matthews, it's the man in the lead. It is the world champion-elect for 380 kilos. This will give him 970.
And if he gets this, he cannot be caught.
Wow.
And what a way to finish off your first IPF World Championship. 3 white lights and your new 120 kilo champion, Bob Matthews.
I think that moved better than his second. Looked like he had maybe another 10 there. Finally came into form just in time on deadlift.
And it seems like we've had an attempt change from Indy going down to 382.5, looking to get that deadlift gold ahead of Bob, hoping that El Shayer will miss his third attempt.
We'll also give Indy a 900 kilo total. He's done 920.5 in the past. This will move him up 3 places in the overall.
Currently still the world record holder. This is a weight he's done before. For a 900 kilo total and deadlift gold potentially. One final pull. And unfortunately it is not there today for Indy. Still currently sat in deadlift silver for the time being.
If you are an Indy watcher, which I am, the second attempt at 375, you could see it just wasn't there for him on the day. That is not how his second attempts usually move, which is a real shame, but you can't always line it up for your perfect day. No. So here we go, Amelia. What do you think? 396 on the bar. This won't take the win. Bob Matthews has put that well out of range, but it will take the world record and the deadlift gold.
Yeah, and he got it up last time, but it's been only a few minutes since he attempted that. It is a very quick turnover, and if he can't fix those infractions, it won't be there, but he knows what went wrong, and perhaps he can fix it now for a new world record.
It seemed like the judgment was that he just hadn't finished it. He's got all the support he could possibly ask for.
396, it's a big ask. He got it up last time. Let's see if he can get it done this time for a new deadlift world record. Etienne El Shayer. The crowd are on their feet. Looks at the clock. 20 seconds left. Gets it moving again. Can he lock it out? Wow!
It looks better.
It does. Let's wait for the lights. 3 white lights, a good lift, and a new world record.
That is not what we expected to see tonight. Pushes Tony Cliff down into 3rd place. Takes Indy Singh's deadlift world record and the deadlift gold. Wow, what a finish. So, Etienne El-Chal, Lebanon, for the deadlift gold and a new world record at 396. Bob Matthews takes the silver with 380. Indy Singh Dillon, the bronze with 375. So, Bob Matthews is your new 120 kilo world champion, barely into the weight class. Etienne El-Chal takes the silver medal at 958.5. Tony Cliff takes that crucial bronze with 937.5. Might not be going home with his world title, but he is going home with a World Games invitation.
What a session that has been. We've had drama, we've had records, and we have a new world champion as well.
And we just have an opportunity to see that fantastic deadlift back again. I must admit, having done it once, I didn't give him a chance of doing this for a second time.
Yeah, especially with the turnover. Absolutely incredible, and hats off to him. So well deserved. Starts shaking but carries on pulling through. What a fantastic finish.
And he didn't sag like he did on the first one. Absolutely brilliant. I think he was quite pleased.
Yeah, knocks the crowd off their feet and himself.
So those are the results as they stand. We have a new 120 world champion. A phenomenal session full of drama and excitement, but we are not finished yet. We have one more day of competition. Tomorrow is Super Sunday, the 84 plus and the 120 plus classes. Join us then.
See you then.
Okay, everyone has their participation medal. It is time to present the medals first of all for the individual weights. Beginning with squat, in bronze medal position with 217.5 kilos from Iceland, Kristin Thorhallsdottir. Also a Masters World record. Taking silver with 222.5 kilos from Great Britain is Ziana Azariah. Squat gold with 247.5 kilos goes to the USA's Amanda Lawrence. Well done, ladies. Great job. Thank you. Okay, everyone has a photo. Big thank you, ladies, and now to bench press. In bronze medal position with 132.5 kilos from Ireland, it's Alison O'Reilly! Bench press silver with 135 kilos goes to the USA's Amanda Lawrence. Which means the bench press gold, also with 135 on body weight, goes to Canada's Danielle Philibert. Well done, ladies. Thank you. And now to deadlifts. In bronze medal position with 227.5 kilos from Germany, it's Leah Schreiner. Deadlift silver with 260 kilos goes to the USA's Amanda Lawrence. Which means deadlift gold with 262.5 kilos goes to Great Britain's Ziana. Great job, ladies. Well done. Thank you. And moving to the overall. Time to crown the new world champion. Taking bronze overall with 555 kilos, it's Canada's Danielle Philibert. All of our podium finishers, as well as their medals, receive some goods from ESN and a panda which signifies an invite to Chengdu for the World Games in 2025. Silver medal overall with 592.5 kilos, it's Great Britain's Ziana Azariah. Which means your new 84 kilo open world champion with 642.5 kilos from the USA, it's Amanda Lawrence!
Thank you so much. Good job. Congratulations. Was the pandas okay?
They've also received their official invites to the World Games in Chengdu, China 2025. Chengdu is the home of the giant panda, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, which is the significance of the panda. But they're super cute. Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the national anthem of the United States of America. See you in China. If you would like to rejoin your fellow competitors at the back of the platform in your own time. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving these ladies a round of applause as they follow the technical controller, from the platform. Give us a minute, folks. You try rounding up 8 guys. Ladies and gentlemen, I believe we are ready. A round of applause, please, as our gentlemen follow the technical controller onto the platform. I hope. Allez, ici. So once again, everyone receives their participation medals from Gaston Courage, IPF President, Robert Keller, IPF EC member. You may notice there is an extra gentleman in the lineup. You'll find out why on bench. Give you a clue, it's a gold medal for Lithuania. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, they all have their participation medals. It is time to award the individual medals first for squats. In bronze medal position with 352.5 kilos from the USA, it's Bob Matthews. In third place from the USA, Bob Matthews. Squat silver with 360 kilos from Algeria, it's Mohamed Sahad. And squat gold with 360 kilos, it's Canada's Lucas Wiseman. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to Canada. Great job, guys. Absolute pleasure to watch. Thank you. And now to bench press. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, bench press. Don't go too far, Bob, because in bronze medal position with 237.5 for the USA, it's Bob Matthews. He's not bothered about anything apart from the goals. Taking the bench press silver with 245 kilos from Great Britain, it's Tony Cliff. And now this is very, very special because bench press gold, also with 245 kilos of body weight, goes to Lietuva, Lithuania's Nemios Stankovičius. to deadlift. In bronze medal position with 375 kilos from Great Britain, it is Indomat Singh. Deadlift silver with 380 kilos from the USA, it's Bob Matthews. And deadlift gold with that amazing pull for a new world record of 396 kilos. It's Lebanon's Etienne Al-Shah. Super impressive pull, really, really great. Well done, guys. Thank you very much. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. And now to the overall. And to crown the new 120 kilo open world champion. In bronze medal position with 937.5 kilos is Great Britain's Tony Cliff. Receives the medal, something from our sponsor ESN, and of course the Chengdu Panda. Overall silver with 958.5 kilos is Lebanon's Etienne Al-Shah. Which could only mean that your 120 kilo open world champion with a total of 970 kilos from the USA, it's Bob Matthews! And of course they received their official invitations to the World Games in Chengdu, China 2025. And now, ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding for the national anthem of the United States of America. So gentlemen, if you'll rejoin your fellow competitors at the back of the platform, ladies and gentlemen, please join me in giving these amazing 120